Good morning, hoboqua. It is Friday, October 15th, 2021. The second week of the month is coming to a close, and here we find ourselves, coming together in a growing community, joined by a common intention, to be well and do well. Inviting you to find your headspace and simply be. Slowly find your breath. Checking in with yourself this morning, noticing how the body feels, noticing any tightness you have in the muscle groups, noticing where the body feels good, taking a moment to check in with your mind, asking yourself, what is the color of my headspace today? Are you feeling exhausted? Do you feel excitement for upcoming events or achievements? Are you a blank canvas this morning? Simply here, aware of the space, and still waking up while you prepare for an awesome day. Wherever you're at in your mind, however you're feeling in your body, grab your mat, roll it out. Begin this morning's practice in a seated posture, and then close the eyes and breathe. Allowing the mind to become centered, drawing awareness to the space and to the mat. Just settling in, grounding through the sits bones as you feel the earth beneath the body. Opening the heart to take from this morning's practice whatever serves. When you're ready, we're going to begin this morning with a few minutes of cranial massage. So bring your hands to your head, allow the pinkies to rest at the corner of the forehead and the hairline. The ring finger, middle finger, and index finger rest along the midline of the skull. And the thumb just above the nape of the neck and below the mastoid process behind the ear, which is that rigid bone you feel, probably almost parallel with the bottom of your earlobe. As you begin to use the fingertips with light pressure, massaging the cranium, feeling at ease to move the fingers around the head, stimulating blood flow to the brain. Remembering to breathe as you begin to relax. Drawing your awareness to the sensations, the fingers on the skull, allowing the neck to relax as you begin to let go of any stress you may have initially brought to the mat this morning. For those of us spending a lot of time in front of computers, you may like to release tension in the trapezius muscle. So moving the thumbs in small circles up the mastoid process, then along the neckline, feeling for the edge of the skull as you move toward the midline of the head. Feeling for the occipital bone on the back of the cranium. Venture the thumbs down the back of the neck, parallel to the cervical spine. mindful that these are the first 7 vertebrae, your C1 through C7. They begin at the base of the skull and delineate into the thoracic spine at the base of the shoulder. Protecting the spinal cord and protecting many of the nerves important to the central nervous system. Being very careful to use only light pressure, but working into the uppermost, one more time, into the uppermost part of the trapezius muscle. And sometimes even more tense than what you'll feel through the shoulder, because these muscles are responsible for holding the neck up all day long. So any lateral movement, any extension through the neck or flexion through the neck are all made possible by a combination of muscles through the neck, but dominantly that trapezius, which runs right up the back of the neck along the cervical spine. Allowing the fingers to follow the thumbs as they work around the skull and eventually down the neck. Inviting the hands to actually work into those traps on both sides of the upper back and shoulders. Being mindful to listen to the body, releasing any tension and small pockets of tightness that you may find. Something I've recently taken from an instructor friend of mine is if you'd like to really release some of that tension in the trap along the shoulder or along the lateral portion of the neck, you can take the pads of the fingers with the base of the palm and really just lightly squeeze that trap and hold on to it. Maybe for 5 or 10 seconds. And then when you're ready, just releasing it. Maybe using the hand to wash away any additional tightness in the muscle as you move the hand along the trap off the shoulder. And then switching sides. Again, using the base of the fingers with the base of the palm, squeezing that trap, holding on to it for 5 or 10 seconds, not painfully but firmly. Then releasing the muscle, allowing the hand to wash away excess tension, slightly gliding along the shoulder. What you should feel is an immediate release. So with all that cranial massage, your blood is flowing, your brains should feel elevated. You should begin to feel light through the neck. And you should feel like your shoulders dropped, maybe half an inch, maybe 1 inch. Just very nice and loose through the cervical spine and the shoulders this morning. Remembering to breathe, relaxing the central nervous system, letting go of any physical or emotional stress in the body. Allowing the palms to rest on the knees. And awakening the torso, taking small circles to the left, maybe starting small and working large, or starting large and working small. Awakening the hips, awakening the glutes. Changing flowing in the opposite direction. Really listening to the body this morning, just doing what feels good. Remembering to breathe as we inhale through the nose and slowly exhale. Allowing the body to rest in a neutral spine. Elongating through the crown of the head. The pelvis tucks under. Belly reaches for the spine. Taking a moment to set an intention for this morning's practice. Inhaling through the nose and slowly exhaling. When you're ready, adjust your seated posture so that the right ankle is directly over the left knee and the left ankle is directly under the right knee, into fire logs posture. In Sanskrit, we call this posture Agni Stambasana, which means the statue of fire pose. You may notice there's a bit of space between the foot and the knee on the right side. And if you have a block or a cushion, you'd like to set into that space so that way you are perfectly parallel across. That is perfect. If you would allow, or if you would like to allow the right knee to fall to the foot, that is also perfectly okay. Do what feels right for you this morning to maximize your practice. Once you're adjusted, sitting tall through the spine, allowing the hands to find the earth as you walk forward. You may find that being this early in the morning and having sat for a moment, that you may feel a little tight through the glutes and the hamstrings, and that is okay. Remembering to breathe and simply increasing the intensity or lessening the intensity of the stretch as you feel is best for your body this morning. Taking one more breath in the posture. And when you're ready, readjusting to alternate. So this time, the left ankle is above the right knee, and the left knee is above the right ankle. The space now being on the left outer face of the body. And again, inviting you to use a block or a cushion to support the top leg, or simply allowing the top leg to fall and meet the foot. Again, extending the hands to meet the earth, increasing the intensity as you walk the belly over the thighs, or simply extending through the spine as you sit upright. I know when I'm feeling tight, I don't get very far in this posture, but it feels amazing for my glutes and my hamstrings. Taking 2 more breaths in the posture. Releasing the legs into seated fold or Paschimottanasana. Again, inviting a couple variations this morning, depending your flexibility and how intense you would like to offer yourself the stretch today. If you're feeling very tight along the back side of your leg or even through the lower back, you may find that just elongating through the spine, through the crown of the head, and allowing the hands to fall to the side of the hips as you sit tall, that you may feel that stretch through the lower lumbar, through the glutes, and along the hamstrings, maybe even into the IT band. Most definitely probably along the back of the knee and into the calf. However, if you do have a bit more flexibility or you would like to challenge yourself with a bit more intensity this morning, the first variation would be to simply allow for the torso to lift out of the hip as you bend over the thighs, slowly walking the hands parallel to the legs. Allowing the torso to bend forward only as far as is comfortable. You may feel slight discomfort if you're tight and wanting that intensity, but there should be no pain. If you're feeling injurious, then that would be an indicator to release the stretch and return to an upright seated position. In the second variation, if you would like maximum intensity, maybe you are incredibly flexible, or this is the second kind of well-being you're offering yourself this morning, you may use a block or simply the index and the middle finger to reach for the feet. So if you're using the index and middle finger, you're going to opt for a Yogi Toe Lock. So the two fingers around the big toe of each foot. Again, lifting out of the hips and forward over the thighs, not just sinking down. So shoulders should be rolled out of the ears. Spine is still elongated through the crown of the head. If you're using a block, you're going to simply allow that block to sit directly on the undersides of the feet. And then as you're folding forward, you're actually going to hold on to the block instead of the body. So that would be the maximum intensity you offer yourself in this pose. Taking 2 more breaths. Inhaling through the nose and slowly exhaling. Releasing the posture as we readjust into our final seated posture for this morning, our seated twist, or Parivrtta Sukhasana. So taking a traditional cross-legged seated pose, inhaling, arms rise overhead, elongating through the crown. Exhale as we twist to the right, hands fall to the earth. Offering you 2 variations this morning, again pending the intensity of the twist, by allowing the left hand to either remain on the left knee, opening through the chest and the shoulders, or increasing the intensity by allowing the left hand to find the right knee. The right hand is settled behind the hip. With each inhale, we elongate through the spine, and each exhale, twisting further into the stretch. Shoulders rolled away from the ears, and gaze is over the right shoulder. Exhale as we release to center. Inhale, arms rise overhead. Exhale, twisting to the left. Again, hands fall to the earth, offering the same variations on the left side that were offered on the right. This time, allowing the right hand to remain on the right knee, opening through the chest, or increasing intensity by allowing the right hand to find the left knee as the gaze looks over the left shoulder and the left hand rests behind the hip. Each inhale allowing us to elongate through the spine, and each exhale inviting us to twist further into the stretch. exhale, releasing to center as we roll over the knees into Manasana, tabletop. Inviting you to use a blanket to support the knees this morning, if needed, or to support the wrists. Transitioning into Marjariasana, cat-cow, as we roll the shoulders away from the ears, tailbone tucks under, engaging the core. Inhaling, neutral spine, gaze at the earth, knees directly beneath the hips. Exhale, as the belly drops, shoulders roll away from the ears, and gaze comes forward. Ensuring that the movement is conscious and you're not just sinking in the lower back. So again, if you're feeling discomfort in the lower back, then just simply allow the torso to remain in a neutral spine. The shoulders will still roll away from the ears and the gaze will still come forward. Exhale, grounding through the palms as the spine begins to arch. Chin comes to chest, and shoulders round through the upper back. So it should feel like a bow. If you can imagine the wood piece in an archery set, as we pull the string before we release the arrow, the bow flexes, so it really rounds through the arc. And that's what we're looking for in the upper shoulders. Inhale, belly sinks, gazes forward, shoulders roll away from the ears. Again, exhale, grounding through the palms, rounding through the shoulders, and arching through the spine, or flexing through the spine. You may even feel through the tailbone, that bit of the tailbone tuck under. So you're feeling the flexion in the hips as well as the spine. Continuing at your own pace, inhaling, allowing the belly to drop, gaze come forward. Exhaling, flexing through the spine, rounding through the shoulders, bringing the chin to chest. It's very important that that chin comes to your chest as you're moving through this posture and adjusting from extension to flexion, because that flexion is what allows for that cervical spine to release. So when you flex forward and you're rounding through the shoulders and you keep the gaze up, you're causing tension in those small vertebral discs, that C1 through C7 set. So make sure that chin comes to chest and you're maximizing the flexion through the spine. When you're ready, exhaling to neutral spine, grounded through the palms, gaze simply at the earth. Back is flat from neck to lumbar, tailbone tucked under, engaging the core. Moving in to thread the needle, or Urdhva Mukha Parsasana. Inhaling, right arm sweeps to the side as the chest opens, gaze follows the arm. Exhale, right arm sweeps toward the earth as it threads beneath the chest, allowing the right shoulder to find the mat. In a partial puppy pose. Extending the left arm to the top of the mat, feeling the stretch through the shoulder and the tricep. Knees should be directly beneath the hips. An extension should come through the thoracic spine, not into the lumbar. holding the posture for a single breath, and then exhaling as we push through the left palm, lifting the chest, right arm sweeps to the side, gaze follows the hand, exhale, hands to the earth. Neutral spine, inhaling to reset, exhaling, grounding through the palms. Following the same sequence on the left side as we inhale, left arm sweeps to the side, gaze follows the hand, opening through the chest. Exhale, left hand falls to the earth as it threads beneath the chest, bringing the left shoulder to the mat in a partial puppy pose. Right arm extends to the top of the mat. Knees are beneath the hips. Inhaling through the nose and exhaling as you fall into the stretch. Again, feeling the extension through the thoracic spine and being very mindful not to fall into that lower back. Extending the pose for a single breath. On the next exhale, grounding through the right palm as the left arm sweeps to the side, inhaling as the gaze follows the hand. Exhale, left hand to earth as we return to a neutral spine. Taking a breath or two to roll through the knees, awaken those hips, maybe even take a few hip circles to the left or a few hip circles to the right. Finding our final posture in Vardhanasana, incorporating a bit of abdominal work this morning as we roll the toes under, lifting the knees from the ground but grounding through the palms. So you should be in a table type like posture with the knees gently lifted from the earth, probably only an inch or so. Engaging the core, you should feel the shoulders rolled away from the ears, rounding through the upper back. We're going to hold this posture for 3 more breaths. Smile, smile, smile. There should be no tension in the face. Inhaling through the nose and slowly exhaling. Final exhale. Inhaling through the nose as we exhale, pushing back into downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Allowing you to find this posture this morning in any way that feels comfortable. So definitely beginning with the knees bent, pedaling through the legs, alternating through the left and the right, inviting you to step the feet to the outer edges of the mat, continuing to pedal through the legs, or possibly inviting some hip circles as you feel the stretch through the glutes and the fascia along the side of the leg. Remembering to breathe, inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the nose or mouth, your choice. Remaining here for 3 more breaths, just really allowing the lower body to come alive this morning. When you're ready, stepping the feet in or finding the feet at hips width apart, walking the hands to the feet so you are in a forward fold at the back of the mat. Inhaling half forward fold, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, rolling up the spine, vertebra by vertebra, arms rise overhead. Exhale, slight back bend, biceps by the ears, in Anuvittanasana. Excuse me, let me repeat that. I said that incorrectly. Anuvittasana. Always throw in an extra N. Inhaling, returning to neutral. Exhaling, the hands to heart center in Samastiti. Taking a moment to be mindful that if you've joined us for previous classes, we are usually standing in Tadasana. Tadasana would allow for the feet to be hips width apart, hands at heart center. So in Samastiti, this is for some of you Shtangis who may be in the class this morning, the feet will come together. So you may feel a bit more off balance. This is a new posture for us, but you should feel a bit more intensity through the sideline of the body. Allowing the hands to fall to the hips. You're going to step the right leg forward into Veer Bhadrasana 1. Taking a moment to be mindful of the posture. Are your heels aligned? The left foot should be facing the outer edges of the mat in line with the knee to prevent any injury. You should be engaged through the glutes, engaged through the thighs as they pull away from the knees. The right knee should be directly over the right ankle. And your choice, hands may remain at the hips, or if you'd like to increase the challenge, you may inhale as the arms rise overhead. Feeling the stretch through the left inner thigh, the left hip flexor, and the right quads. Inhaling, elongating through the crown of the head. Exhaling, sinking into the stretch. Allowing the toes to walk the right foot forward if you'd like to increase the intensity. Remaining engaged through the core. Belly should be pressing into the spine. On the next exhale, pivoting on the left heel as we open into Veer Bhadrasana 2. Allowing the arms to extend in a T-like position, fingertip to fingertip. Chest is open to the side. Again, the heels are aligned as the gaze moves forward over the front middle finger, or the right middle finger, excuse me. Inhaling, stretching through the arms, reaching for opposite sides of the room. Exhaling, sinking into the stretch, shoulders roll down away from the ears. Inhale, elongating through the arms. Exhale as we transition into Triconasana, triangle pose. Keeping the right leg engaged, straightening through the knee, but soft so as to prevent any hyperextension. Allowing the torso to pull out of the hip as the left hip reaches for the back of the mat, and the right arm pulls the torso over the earth. Allowing the right hand to fall to the earth as the left arm follows the torso, extending to the sky. Mindful that you are engaged through the lower body to prevent any knee injury. Thighs should be engaged, pulling away from the knee. Glutes should be engaged, supporting the lower back as the torso moves over the right leg, allowing the right arm to find the mat and the left arm to extend. Inviting the gaze to be in one of 3 positions this morning, either directly at the earth. You may allow for the gaze to fall directly in line with the chest, facing the side of the room, or if you'd like more intensity, you may even like to gaze toward the sky. I find sometimes that's uncomfortable in my neck. So again, listen to the body and do what's best for you. Inhaling through the nose, exhaling, maximizing your edge in the stretch. And when you're ready, windmilling the arms over as you pivot on the back foot, allowing the body to find forward lunge. Feeling the stretch through the left quad. And when you're ready, pushing back into downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Walking the hands to meet the feet at the back of the mat, slowly rolling up the spine. Exhale, slight back bend, biceps by the ears, Anuvitasana. Exhale, Samastiti, hands to heart center. Taking the same sequence on the left side. Inviting the hands to find the hips as you step the left foot forward. Veer Bhadrasana 1. Mindful that the heels are aligned, the right toes facing the outer edge of the mat, so the toes and knee are aligned. Engaging through the thighs as the muscles pull away from the knee, engaging through the glutes. And inviting you to allow the hands to remain on the hips or inhale as they raise to the sky. Exhaling, sinking into the stretch, allowing those toes to walk forward, encouraging the left knee to remain directly over the left ankle to feel the stretch through the right inner thigh and the left quadriceps. Inhaling to lengthen through the spine, exhaling, sinking into the stretch. Belly button pushes into spine. Allowing the pelvis to remain neutral. And preventing sway back in the lower lumbar. On the next inhale, elongating through the spine, exhale, transitioning into Veer Bhadrasana 2 or Warrior 2. Again, pivoting on the back right foot so the toes are perpendicular with the outer edges of the mat. Opening through the chest as you're elongated through the arms from fingertip to fingertip, allowing opposite sides of the room to pull through the body, feeling the energy on the undersides of the arms, maybe flowing through the fingertips, and allowing the gaze to be over the left middle finger. Inhaling, shoulders roll away from the ears. Exhaling, sinking into the stretch. Thighs are engaged, glutes are engaged. Belly presses into the spine. On the next inhale, allowing the opposite sides of the room to really pull through the arms as you exhale, transitioning into Triconasana, triangle pose on the right side. Lengthening through the left leg as the knee stays soft, the quads are engaged to protect the knee. Torso lifts out of the hips, over the earth, as the left arm finds the earth and the right arm windmills, extending to the sky. Chest is open, facing the outer edge of the mat. And again, the gaze is your choice, remaining toward the earth, following the chest to the outer wall, or finding the right hand to meet the sky. Inhaling, you extend out of the hip through the torso and elongate through the arms. Exhaling, feeling the engagement through the core and the hips. On the next exhale, windmill the arms to the earth into a forward lunge, pivoting on the back foot. Feeling the stretch through the right hip flexor, the psoas, and the quadricep. When you're ready, stepping the left foot back into downward facing dog, grounding through the palms. Bending the knees as you hop forward into forward fold. And if hopping is not in your practice, that's perfectly okay. Instead of taking the jump forward, you may gently step forward to the top of the mat, finding Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, half forward fold. Exhale, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, rolling up the spine, vertebra by vertebra, arms rise overhead. Exhale, biceps by ears, you take a slight back bend. Anuvattasana. Inhale, return to neutral. Exhale, hands to heart center, Samastiti. And my friends, you have made it. As you remain in Samastiti, find the breath. Allowing the hands to fall to the side, palms facing forward. Drawing awareness to the sensation of the inhalation and the sensation of the exhalation. Being mindful that even though the feet are together, sort of zipped up like a mermaid, if you will, inner thighs should be touching, but the thighs should still be engaged. So our mechanics in Samastiti are similar to our mechanics in Tadasana, with the exception of the placement of the feet. Belly pressing into the spine, allowing the pelvis to remain neutral and preventing sway back in the lower lumbar. Shoulders roll away from the ears. and thighs are engaged, pulling away from the knee. Inhaling through the nose and exhaling, allowing any excess energy to radiate through the palms as we take our closing breaths for this morning's practice. Reflecting on the intention you set for today's practice. Checking in with the body, noticing what you notice. Inhale, arms rise overhead. Gaze meets the sky. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inviting you to join me for one round of the peace sound vibration Om. Inhaling through the nose. Offering kind words, kind thoughts, and kind actions for positive intentions. May the light in me honor and shine with the light in you. Sharing the awareness, sharing the grace, sharing the intention. Namaste.